Hi, folks. My name is Jim Duggan. I played with the Atlanta Falcons in 1977. I played my college football for Southern Methodist University, and a lot of folks know me as professional wrestler Hacksaw JIm Duggan, which I've been doing for almost 33 years now with the WWE, WCW, and all the wrestling organizations throughout the world. But I do have a football background, and I'm lucky enough to be part of the NFLPA.
Jim, can you talk about the convention, what's going on, what are the conversations, what are guys talking about?
Well, I tell you, the main thing I've noticed about the convention is the solidarity. Everybody's sticking together. Everybody's doing the one-team thing, from guys that only have a year in the league to guys that played 15, 20 years, to the current players, to the former players. The one team is the thing that really seems to be sticking out.
I got lots of hoes.
A lot of hoes. Oh, thanks, folks.
Can you tell us about your experience in the NFL? What was it like?
Well, of course, I grew up playing football. I was never actually a professional wrestling fan. I was a football fan my whole life, and I was a big Green Bay Packer fan growing up, watching Ray Nitschke and Jim Taylor and Bart Starr, and I wanted to play football my whole life. I was lucky enough to be highly recruited from many different universities, though I'm from upstate New York. I played my college ball in Texas, and then I was picked up by the Atlanta Falcons to fulfill a lifelong dream. And then I sustained a bad knee injury where I had 2 surgeries in 1 year. But I was young and dumb and anxious to get back into the play again, and came back in. And of course, when I was cut by the Atlanta Falcons, it was one of the most traumatic days of my life. I mean, it's something that I did my whole life, something that I thought I was pretty good at, and something I expected to do for a long, long time. And all of a sudden, to be called down to the coach's office and have them tell you to bring your playbook with you, it was just a terrifying ordeal. We had our training camp up at Furman University, and not down at Swanee. Now they have the big facility, but we were up at Furman, and they had a traffic circle in Furman. So after the Falcons cut me, I ended up just driving around the traffic circle. I didn't know if I should go home to Glens Falls, should I go back to Dallas, Texas, where I went to college, or should I go to Atlanta, where I lived the past year. It was a very hard time, and as it is for everyone, and something that was hard to get over.
What is your role now as a former player and attending these conventions?
Well, I'm lucky enough to be able to attend these conventions. That's a great thing about the NFLPA. Only 1 year in the league, and it's able to join, because I thought it would have to be 4 years to be part of the NFLPA. But I met Mike McBath, the Orlando chapter president, and he said, no, if you played for 1 year, you can join the union. So I was very, very excited to be able to get into the union. And, now I had my knee surgery. I'm looking at knee replacement down the road, and the NFL will be able to help me with that. So it's been very beneficial to be part of this organization.
Well, I think that kind of answered this question here. They want to know, can you talk about, as a former NFL player and pro wrestler, tell us the importance of health benefits for retired athletes?
Sure, of course. The main thing, as I said, I'm more known for being a professional wrestler, wrestling 30-plus years all over the world. We have no health benefits, no retirement benefits. We're an independent contractor. The owner, Vince McMahon, or whoever the promoter is, he has full control of how long you stay there and everything else. So we have no say, and we will never be organized, because that's the last thing they want. So is that kind of what they were looking for?
Yep. Steel cage match, owners versus players. Who wins?
Steel cage match. Let me tell you owners something. It's not going to be an easy day out there for you. I tell you, the players got right behind their side. They just want disclosure. They want transparency, and I don't think they're asking for anything unacceptable. I think the owners are just trying to take advantage of the situation.
Any current players out there that you think would be good wrestlers down the road, aside from Laurinaitis, who's the son of
right, that's right. They had it right. Those are wrestling background. I tell you, I think most of the guys in professional football now would not like to get in professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is a really tough sport. Unlike football, where you have your season, we're on all year long. You're traveling maybe 25 days a month you're on the road. You're away from your family. All my family videos, my folks are sitting down for dinner for Thanksgiving. I'm going, bye, everybody. All the videos I'm leaving, going on the road. I wouldn't recommend professional wrestling to very many people at all. And plus, one thing folks don't realize about professional wrestling, it's wrestling is wrestling, but it has nothing to do with it being very competitive. There's 1,500 NFL ball players playing this year, maybe 1,000 NBA basketball players. There's 100 wrestlers on contract. It's a television show, so it's like trying to get on Days of Our Life or something like that. So it's in a very competitive business, and not many opportunities out there for guys.
What position did you play in college and with the Falcons, and what made you good at that position?
I was an offensive guard, and pretty much throughout my whole career, which was a tough transition coming out of the Southwest Conference back in the 70s, where we ran the wishbone, and I'm down on a 4-point stance all the time, and then coming up to the Falcons, and they're like pass blocking. I was like, where'd that guy go? It was quite a transition.
What do you think of the current NFLPA leadership?
I think it's great. I think the meetings we've been having, they stand up. There's no BS. They tell you exactly what's on their mind. They're telling you exactly which direction we're going, and they're leading us, which you need. You need a guy to be decisive, and that's what we have.
Do you still keep in touch with any of your former colleagues in pro wrestling?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, there's a small group of us, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Savage. My generation of guys was kind of the golden age of wrestling, Junkyard Dog, Jake the Snake Roberts. And, of course, a lot of them have passed, but a lot of them are still friends. And, what's great coming back here to the NFL convention is I'm running across a lot of guys I played college ball with and some guys I've met in the pros.
What was one of your highlights, both from football and in wrestling?
Well, in football, the first time I strapped on an Atlanta Falcon football helmet to achieve a lifelong goal, a lifelong dream to be in the NFL. I mean, just to get to that far was just extremely exciting. And, of course, in professional wrestling, main event, Madison Square Garden with Andre the Giant. No matter what profession you're in, music, dancing, whatever, if you sell out Madison Square Garden, you sell out the Garden, and have an opportunity to wrestle Andre was something special. And he could be an irritable giant, too.
What players did you look up to when you were growing up, and what players do you respect currently now in the game?
Well, of course, the guys current are the guys that are standing up for the strike. I mean, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, people like that are just standing up. And you gotta, even though they're relatively young guys to myself, you gotta say, hey, you gotta respect people like that. And what was the other part of the question?
Who did you look up to?
I looked up. Yeah, I was a big Packer fan growing up. Bart Starr, Ray Nitschke, Jim Taylor, and of course, one of my people that I looked up to and have recently met and become good friends with was Oakland Raiders' Ben Davison.
Instead of mediation, you think it would have been better to have maybe some tables, ladders, and chairs?
I think it wouldn't last nearly as long because, like I said, the players got right behind him, and with something like that going, the owners would be scrambling. They'd be trying to crawl out the cage, but we drag them back in and do what we do best: beat people up. Tough guy. Ho! Sorry, getting a little excited, folks.
Do you think there will be a season in 2011?
That's a tough question. Yeah, I hope there will be a season, and I believe there will be, because I think it's not only good for the players, it's going to be good for the owners, but it's also going to be good for the country, because not only will this lockout affect the players and the owners, but it's going to affect the cities that the teams are in, and it's going to affect our whole country. So I really hope they get things worked out, and I believe in my heart that they will.
Just a closing message for maybe for today's current players and a message for NFL fans out there.
Well, first off, for the fans, and I'm sure I speak for the majority of players, or if not all the players, thank you so much for your support through all the years. I mean, generation after generations of fans come out, and you see them at the stadiums, you see them at the preseason games, you see them at training camp. So there's great NFL fans. I love the wrestling fans, but the NFL fans, you got to look up to them too. They're great. And the players, was the look up?
Yeah, like what message would you have for today's
today's players? Like I said, one team, one union, one group. If we stick together, that's what it's all about. And I think that's why this function here at Marco Island is so important. And I think the guys really will stick together and will come out of this on top.